Good morning. How are you? How'd you sleep? I slept like hell, like I have for my entire life. Thanks for asking. Let's get that coffee going. This is Living Large and Hard. Obviously. This is a day in the life. This is an instant request that took me weeks and weeks to do. From Constable Whitebread of Flipper and Connie Hit the Town. What could happen? That's I recommend that one. I enjoyed living it, and I enjoyed reliving it through the podcast. It's pinned on SoundCloud. Whatever you're listening to this on, you just search it. Flipper and Connie Hit the Town. So he wanted to know what a day in the life of me, Mike or Max Marvin, Mr. Living Large and Hard, was like. And I'll tell you, you're probably going to think it's boring. Now that I'm not traveling everywhere. So I retired just about a year ago. It's July 2022. And then I went right into traveling all the fucking time. Endlessly. Between Chicago and here in Lansing. Between there and here. And also Europe. And within Europe, I never just went to a city and then came back. I went to multiple cities, as many as 5 in a trip. So there's all that knocking around. I did that for a year. So I'm just now getting used to, it's been a month of not knocking around. And, no, it's actually August. Wow. So, and it's actually almost exactly a year since I retired. So how about that? Isn't that crazy? How fast it went by? It's irrelevant to you. But I was living it. And so it's been a month, and I'm getting used to not having to be on the go. Once in a great while. I mean, when I first stopped, it was, all right, when do I have to go back to Chicago? When do I have to go to X country in Europe, and then X country in Europe, and then X country in Europe, and then back to Chicago, and then back here to Lansing. And this is, by the way, from the Zing Box here in Lansing, the home of Oldsmobile, now defunct, and state capital. And still, nothing to do here. Nothing to do here. So anyway, good morning. How do I start my day? Coffee. So I go down and do that. Usually there are 2 cats currently living here. One or both may need to be fed. And then there are neighborhood cats. One's kind of a wild child, but the rest have other homes. They just stop by to mooch food here. So some of them may need to be fed. So I do that. Usually while the coffee's, as you can tell, the coffee takes a while to make. I roast that coffee myself. That's one of the things I do in the day of, about twice a week. I have a machine that's a dedicated coffee roasting machine. Looks like a toaster oven. Got a cage inside that you fill with coffee beans, a roly thingamababa. I picked that up in Italy. I was there 3 times. So you put the coffee in the thingamababa and it spins around and heated air blows over it. And that's how you roast the coffee. And so the machine that you heard underneath me talking grinds it, tamps it, gives it a little spritz, and then makes espresso. But before that, it actually froths milk. There's a little chill container on the side, like a little refrigerated container, which would be why it's chilled. Duh. And then that is some nice cold milk, and then that froths, and you make cappuccino with some really thick, delicious milk. And what I do is I have these cocoa packets, chocolate cocoa with mint, and I put a little bit of that in there. I'll tell you what, man, that first cup in the morning, whoa, I love it. And then I back off on the cocoa mint thing. Just go more coffee. So anyway, get the coffee, and then I come back up here to the studios, the LLAH Inc. studios, and I read the New York Times online. I tried to get the New York Times delivered here on a Sunday, which is a waste, but I get it rebated through one of my American Express cards if I can get them to deliver it, which they didn't for 2 weeks. So I called them to cancel, and they said, well, this could take up to 2 weeks for us to figure out what happened. I go, okay, now you're talking about a month. A fucking month for someone to come and drop a goddamn paper. Or even just throw it in the yard or the driveway. They can't do that in 2 weeks. They're not going to be able to figure it out in 2 more. So I said, cancel that. I'll just read it online. Plus, the Sunday Times is nowhere near what it used to be. When I used to get it way back when in Fort Wayne, Indiana, 35 years ago? Probably. Anyway, I would hear that fucking thing hit the doorstop. Woof. It would actually wake me up. You're talking pounds and pounds and pounds of news. No, not anymore. So getting the folding paper actually is not a treat anymore. It's kind of like just get it. Takes the same amount of time to read online. It used to take more time because in the actual folding paper there was a lot more stuff, but now there's just nothing. There's not much online. I thought there'd be more online. Nope. So anyway, I read the news. I read the failing New York Times, which it's not failing, by the way. I think it's the most successful paper in the country. But anyway, I do that while I'm drinking that second or third cup. And then it's time to run. I was running every day. And 6 miles, 3 to 6, usually 4 to 6. And then what I was doing was also biking. On my fixed gear bike, you cannot coast. 1 speed, and you can't coast. So there's no traffic here. It's a city. It's the capital city, but there's no traffic. So, and it's flat. So the only way we can really have any fun riding is around town on a fixie. Anyway, I would run, and then I would ride the fixie. And I would ride the fixie from 6 to 13 miles. There's a wonderful river trail here that if it wasn't here, I don't know what I would do because, like I said, there's nothing else to fucking do here. So I go down, run the river trail, or I run, if I go up to the corner and turn left, right up there. See where I'm pointing? Go up there, turn left. The Capitol itself is 2 miles away, ish. I don't know. My $40 activity tracker got wonky, so I'm not sure if it's actually 2 miles out there and back. I'm pretty sure it is. So that's a 4 mile run, but that's city running, so that's kind of cool. There's homeless people. There's, all kinds of shit going on. So what I would do is run and then bike, and then I go down. There's a park and play basketball. I don't play basketball. I shoot basketball because I haven't done that in 35 to 40 years. So I go down there and make myself stay for half an hour. Hey, the shot's coming back. I'm telling you, it's coming back. I can actually get off the ground and shoot. And it seems to have made the shot go in more than it was when I was barely able to hoist the damn thing up there. Let me tell you this. A lot of this is just physical activity. This is summer. This is my summer day in the life. I've always been physically active. I intend on staying physically active as long as possible. I'm 65. I started running this year. I started in the winter. I run pretty fast, actually, from what the other people that have been at these organized races have told me. They say I'm doing very well because there's only a couple of us in our age group. So if I take second, that means I came in behind the other guy of the two. But I won the 2 5Ks and I've come in second in the 2 5 milers. So I'm doing all right for just starting out. But God damn, it's beating the shit out of my legs. Tell you what, there's times it keeps me up at night because I would run, bike, as I said, then play basketball. And whew, the legs just, the 65-year-old legs, especially just starting all this shit this year, it's a bit much. I used to bike. That doesn't really, I mean, I've had cramps from riding, but that's just cramps. That's not joint pain, which is what this running is doing to my knees. So I will not be running as much next year. I have another 5K, which is 3 miles, 3.1, and I have another 5 mile in September. They're like within a week of each other. And then next year, I'm not going to do anywhere near as much. So what I'm doing now is I'm running every other day. And biking the days that I don't run. Or maybe biking a bit after I run, because that doesn't really, it seems to actually help. Playing basketball, It's because I'm jumping, which I haven't done. When do you jump? When the fuck do you jump? I haven't jumped, in years and years and years. You don't go and say, where's my wallet? I think I left it on top of the cabinets in the kitchen. Let me jump up there and get it. No, it doesn't happen. You just don't jump. All right, so after the running and the biking and the basketball, usually after the running and the biking, I have a protein shake because, like I said, I am 65. I do lift weights every day. Every single day, 7 days a week. And I do chest, then arms, then back, then legs, then shoulders. So every muscle group gets 5 days of rest to grow and regroup. Because when you get older, folks, you may weigh the same, but that's because you're losing muscle and you're gaining fat. Like I said, I weigh the same as I did in high school, a little bit more, but I needed to weigh a little bit more back then. I was a scrawny fucker. But now, not so much. So after the running and the biking, I have a protein shake because I'm vegetarian, pescatarian. I eat some fish. Red meat, been off it for 30 years easy. Chicken, turns out chicken's no good for you either. You can read whatever you want online. You can listen to Kardashians or, whatever. I go by the science. Science says just meat in general is no good for you. So, fuck it. Do I crave a steak? Nope, not at all. Never crosses my mind to have one. Or chicken. Once in a great, I just made chicken wings not too long ago. I brine them for a couple days and roast them and sauce on the sides so they're all crispy and went, Anyway, so then I have my protein shake and then I have my breakfast. I don't have breakfast every day. Most days I do. And all that is grits and blueberries. Instant grits with blueberries and some olive oil. Because to me, food, I don't like to eat out. I was in that business for most of my life. There's no joy in eating out. There's absolutely no mystery to it. The food, I'm going to New York in October and I'm going there. I'm going to eat this one restaurant twice at least because the food there is always very good. I'm not going to say delicious, amazing. No, very good. Sometimes really fucking good. To where if you have, it's a tapas bar. So you get down, you get a little bit of this stuff and you get down. If you have 2 people, it's okay. Works out fine. And what I do is I order the first 6 things on the menu and then I order 2 of the things that are on the specials board. So that's 8 things. And if there's 2 of you, it's okay. But if there's 3 or 4, forget if there's 4. Because then you get down and you're looking at that last piece of that thing and you fucking want it so fucking bad. Because it is so fucking good. And you got to be, anyone want that? Help you? Oh, go ahead. Help yourself. Fuck that. What's that over there? Snatch it. Fuck you. It's mine. So anyway, that's my delicious breakfast every day. Anyway, food is just fucking fuel for me. And why do I put olive oil in my grits? Because olive oil is basically medicine. Sort of. It's healthy. Not much that you eat is actually beneficial to you, but they found that shit is. So that's it. That's pretty much, that's hours. That's hours of stuff right there. If the lawn needs mowing, I mow the lawn. If it grows at all, it gets cut. So, like in May and June, it gets cut every day. Every day, you say? Yeah, every fucking day, whatever. We had a pretty long drought here, so it didn't grow for basically weeks. Now it's rained for a couple days, so I cut it yesterday. I'll cut it tomorrow. I cut it 2 days ago. 2 days before yesterday. I don't know what you'd call that anyway. So, and what did I do? There's a big electric behemoth 60-volt self-propelled lawnmower here. I don't use that. I bought myself a 16-inch reel mower. You know, that kind of goes, well, you hear it. Listen. Zing, zing. Yeah, that thing. Let me push it. And then yesterday when I was mowing, it was going to rain. It started to sprinkle. I could just run with that fucking thing. Got the whole thing done. Didn't really even get wet. Of course, I'm so skinny. It's hard for me to get wet anyway. What else do I do with my day? That puts us around, depending. We're like 5 hours in. Also, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do this senior boxing thing, which I like. I like the people. There's not a lot of boxing involved. There's stretching, which I just don't do. Because I just don't do it. It just never crosses my mind. So I get some stretching in, some agility. 3 rounds on the heavy bag, 3 rounds on the double bag, which is what's attached at the top and the floor, and it's got the 2 lumps in it. So that one's cool. That's for speed. And also 3 rounds on the speed bag. I'm just starting to get good at the speed bag. That thing's tough. And do some. One of the coaches is a certified boxing coach, and I told him, the workout part's fine, but what I'm really here for is to learn how to box. So he'll show me things like how to throw a hook, how to throw an uppercut using your hip and throwing that shit. And he'll put the sparring gloves on, and I was throwing some combinations, left, right jab, and then left hook. Man, that's fun. Hitting those circular mitts those guys wear. I like that shit. So that's Tuesday and Thursday from 9:30 to 11:30. So there is no usually. Well, there's no usually. I still run. I still bike. And I still play ball. And still lift. So, the day just kind of disappears. And then if I have to cut the grass, I cut the grass. Now for groceries, when I worked at Peapod picking rich people's lazy ass groceries before the pandemic and everybody decided they didn't want to go shopping anymore. We had where we picked the groceries was in the back of an actual grocery store. And since I was there 5 days a week, I stopped using a cart and I stopped using a basket to shop. Can't carry it, don't buy it. So that became a habit. So the grocery store that I like to use is 1.5 miles away. It's right by the Capitol. Right by the Ball Diamond downtown. So it's interesting to walk down there. It's the same as the running route. So like I said, there's homeless people and people having a good time out hanging around and shit. So if I need stuff other than, let's say, milk on a day like today that's fucking 92 and 70% humidity, that I will go drive and get. But I walk there, it's 1.5 miles each way, so you're talking 3 miles. Go down, get my couple bags of shit, walk back. So now we're in the early afternoon. Then I meditate, 10-minute guided meditation. If that doesn't do the trick, the sense is some of you know I deal with anxiety and depression. I should be the happiest I've ever been in my fucking life. I'm not working. I just travel the world for a year. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm playing all day long. I'm playing all day long. I consider mowing the lawn fun. What happens? I get bummed out. Fucking brain chemistry. Tell you what. So if that doesn't work, then I do what's called box breathing. I inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold it, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do that 20 minutes, sometimes longer. Sometimes I fall asleep for a little bit. But usually that clears the murk up. And then we're getting near dinner time. I eat the same goddamn thing every fucking day. Why? Because I don't care about food. So you're supposed to have 4.5 cups of vegetables and fruits every day. So I get it all in one big fucking bowl. It's about a half a head of lettuce, depending on your lettuce, this time of year. Jeez. Lettuce is about the size of a softball. So it's about a half a head of normal iceberg lettuce. Chop that shit up. Then half a pepper, a third of a cucumber, half a tomato, green olives, just because I like the way they taste. I figure if olive oil is good, then green olives got to be good, right? And one of those little 2.6 ounce packages of wild caught tuna. Tuna fish? No, tuna cat. It's tuna. Why do people call it tuna fish? What other kind of tuna is there? So that goes on there, and then, isn't that boring? No, you want to know why? Because I have 4 different dressings and I rotate them. Wow, what an exciting life. And then I have these dried onions and dried jalapenos I crumble on there. So this thing, God, it must weigh like 3 pounds. So that's din-din. And while I'm eating that, I read, because I love reading. And then we're into the early evening. And then if there's good shit I'm reading, I'll read some more. Sometimes Doof Mom and I hang out and talk for an hour, either on the front porch or the back porch. If that's something that happens, it's something that happens. Now, do I watch much TV? No, I do not. If I'm watching something or reading something, I have a stack of books to take to wherever we'll take them. And I didn't read most of them. I got like 20 pages in and went, nope, this sucks. I do the same thing with TV shows, movies. 20 minutes into a movie, if it's no good, I don't keep watching it. A series, if it's no good, I don't keep watching it. Well, you had to watch, like 4 or 5 episodes and then you get into it. I don't have that kind of fucking time to waste. God bless you that you do. I don't. I'd rather read something that's not boring. Or I do watch shit like Whistling Diesel YouTube videos where he smashes trucks intentionally and, takes school buses and throws them with a fucking crane. That's good stuff. That's intellectual. So if I do watch something, it's usually an hour, maybe an hour and a half, occasional movie. And then I try to head up here to the studio / bedroom at about 10:30. Read. Lights out at 11. Being an insomniac, that's the first thing they tell you. Now they've changed it on me. You're supposed to always get up at the same time, but fuck, I always go to bed at the same time because I don't like waking up to an alarm. And I don't have to, ever. I mean, I have an alarm for Tuesday and Thursday because just in case I actually have a good night's sleep or a really bad night's sleep that doesn't kick in till late, I don't want to miss boxing. I have to get up, then I have to get caffeinated. And I have to drive there. It's 4 minutes. Whew. I know, stressful. Like I said, there's no traffic. It's ridiculous. So that's the summer edition. Let me see if I missed anything. That's about it. I'm doing a podcast. Today is an ill-typical day. I really hate being inside if it's nice out. Or if it's just summer at all, if the sun's up. Well, yeah. If it's tolerably warm, today it's intolerably hot. If it's tolerably warm, the sun's out, I want to be outside. I don't want to be inside. But today, I got up and there were some lilac bushes that had grown into trees. And I got most of them down last year. And then Doof Mom said, no, she wants to keep the rest of them, even though I found them quite unsightly. Because they're real scraggly and way too tall. And they didn't really flower. But much to my happiness, the ones that stayed up, 2 of them fell on her car. So, guess who got to take the rest down? Anyway, the stumps were left. I did some quick hacking on those. So there was, 7 stumps left above the ground, like a foot or so. Anywhere from 2 inches to as much as 8. Most of them were 4 to 6 inches. And all I had to use was my little 13-inch Japanese handsaw, the curved one. So that kicked the morning off doing that. Felt good to get them out of the way. And then there was 2 piles of wood on the side of the house, and I took those 2 piles and combined them into one semi-organized pile behind the shed, between the shed and the fence. So that happened. And then I ran and got some hardware, and I had to get milk, and so I went to the other store that I don't like going to. But it was right there. So I got some handrail brackets, and I made handrails for the super steep stairway coming up here to the studio. If you ever come on the tour, which I recommend, just, book in advance. If you come up those stairs, man, they are fucking steep and not very wide. So I made handrail out of some of that lilac tree, a couple pieces of that, and did that as well. So, and I'm doing this podcast, and this is also an ill-typical podcast because there's sound effects involved. So I had to find those. I did that yesterday. And then I'm going to have to, now they're mixed in as you're listening to it. So that takes time. And that's time that doesn't seem like time to me because I really enjoy it. I really like mixing audio. So the talking part, I never restart, obviously. As much as I fuck up, obviously I don't restart. I don't edit what I say. None of that shit. I just don't like it. I know podcasts that are edited, and man, I can tell. And it just seems fake, and it seems not like a conversation, which is what I want this to seem like. To me, it's the perfect conversation because you can't fucking say anything. Love it. It's the way it should always be. Just sit there and nod like you are. Thank you. Thank you. So, winter. What do I do in the winter? Well, there's a karate place right around the corner. Instead of a 4-minute drive, it's like a 3-minute walk. And they have adult classes, and they are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So boxing is Tuesday, Thursday, and karate is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and 12 to 1. Fucking perfect. So come autumn, I'm going to probably start doing that too. So they'll give me Monday through Friday doing that shit. And I'll also, running in the winter is easy compared to riding in the winter. Because if you're riding a bike, you've got wind chill involved. And I don't ride some upright beach cruiser fucking thing. I ride, a fixed gear bike, and I ride a real road bike, all hunched over and all that shit. So I'm going at a pretty good clip on both. So you take even a 40-degree day, and you can, then you got to put on the warm tights, and you got to put on the warm socks, and you got to put on the jersey, and you got to put on the warm jacket, and you got to put on the double gloves, and you got to put on the balaclava, and you put your helmet on, and you still cry because you're doing 20 miles an hour on a 40-degree day, which with wind chill is way too fucking cold. Which is why I started running. On a cold day, no matter how cold, you put your tights on, put your socks on, you put your t-shirt on and a jacket, not too heavy, and a cap, a beanie, and you go run with gloves. Not even double gloves. It's just so much easier. So I'll still be running, and if the weather allows, I will be biking. I can't see playing basketball. The ball gets frozen, it goes kunk, kunk, it doesn't bounce. Your hands freeze. I'm still lifting. I'll be lifting every day. So what else do I do in the winter months? Well, something I'd started getting into this last winter was learning music. I never learned music. You'll hear music at the start of some of these podcasts, and not to shut the fuck up Mike on the asshole rants. That's anal cunt. Love anal cunt. Who doesn't? They're a treasure. But yeah, I never learned music. I can make music, but I don't know how to read it. I don't know the theory behind it or any of that. So I got myself a keyboard, and I was doing that regularly every day, half an hour to an hour. So come winter, that will be going on. There will be more podcasts, because all I got to do for that normally is sit the fuck down and talk. So got more time for that. And I have lots of video to do production on. Most of the 40-some cities I went to, most of them. Well, actually, all of them. But there's a cinema camera that I take. God damn, I made a half an hour without fucking sounding like I got hit in the head with a frying pan. So, let's try that again. So there's a cinema camera I took along, and that takes video that you have to adjust everything. The color and the contrast, all that kind of stuff. You got to figure out where you're going to cut it, where you're going to fucking, do transitions, what kind of transition. And I also was just going to do like these slick, smooth things, but then everybody does these slick, smooth things. So I thought, why the fuck don't I just do what I would, make it mine? So if you followed Living Large and Hard on Instagram or Facebook, you've seen my travel pictures. Not the usual stuff. Not a plate of pasta and a glass of Prosecco with a sunset behind it. No, fuck that. That's not what I do. Might be a sign of a dog taking a shit. Might be something like that. A lot of graffiti. So I'm going to mix all that. I decided I'm going to mix all that shit in. But video production is another one of those things that takes time, but for me, it just doesn't seem like it takes time. It takes easily, for finished product, it takes easily an hour or two for each minute. That's just the way it is. Once you figure out where you're going to take this and put that, you're going to use a static shot, you're going to do some of the things you have to run backwards so that they flow right. Anyway, there's video production that I will be doing in the winter as well. Unfortunately, I do have a cookie problem. I do. I love cookies. I won't be able to eat that shit as much because on a really hectic, fulfilling, physically active day, I will burn 2,000 to 2,500 extra calories. So you're talking, 4,200 to 4,700 calories I need for the day. So if I have a couple cookies, since I'm mostly eating only vegetables and shit, it don't matter. But come wintertime, when that furnace doesn't get fueled, or it doesn't get burning as much, then I'm gonna have to really watch it. But I'm not worried about it. I can take care of it. I can do that. So wintertime, 5 days a week of karate and boxing, and also the weightlifting and the occasional running, and hopefully some biking. So a lot less physically active, but a lot more creative time. Let me put it that way. I have it's called a jam box, and I never really got to play with it. And it's for making music, and I don't know how to fucking use it. So 3 different times I watched a tutorial video and got to the point I was actually laying a beat down and stuff like that. And then, off to Europe for 2 weeks and then back here to Lansing and then back to Chicago where the fucking thing was, and then open it up and go, no fucking idea. So I'm looking forward to having some music to share with you. Wouldn't that be lovely? Anyway, thanks to Constable Whitebread. Thank you, Mike, for this idea. Probably no one else will thank you because they're bored to fucking tears by it. But whatever. So living large and hard. Glad you're along. You can get a hold of me at shitforbrains@gmail, XITFER brains. Or you can do like Connie Whitebread and get through SoundCloud. If you listen on SoundCloud, you can message me there. If you don't want to listen on SoundCloud, that's okay. It's on Spotify, Apple, Amazon. I think I'm on all of them. There's ones that I even know that I'm on. But if you're on one that you want to hear this on because it makes your life easier, I'm all for it. Let me know and I'll get it on there. So that's it for now. Let me know how your day goes. Bye-bye. Thank you for having nothing better to do than waste your time with me here at Living Large and Hard. And now back to your quotidian existence.